So as we know, a few months ago, Bungie released Marathon, and there's no doubt that this game has had hills to climb. It has been absolutely crazy from the get-go with this game, from not looking good with player testing, feedback, from stealing artwork, from being an extraction shooter, and for a AAA game. It doesn't actually mean anything anymore when we say AAA. Like, as I've said many times, years ago, when we used to say AAA, we used to think companies would deliver an amazing experience when it came to just the games we love. But nowadays, AAA, it isn't guaranteed anymore when it comes to AAA. And we've got news about Bungie. Because even if people are loving this game for a £250 million game, that ain't going to cut it. The players it's pulling in now, it isn't going to be enough for them to support this game. So we're going to talk about Bungie, and we're going to talk about Ubisoft as well, because it's all going to shit. So if you do like these daily videos, make sure you hit the like button and let's go. Currently, if you have a look at Marathon, it's sitting at around 10,000 players, and this came out in March. So literally nearly 4 months after release, it's only getting at around 10,000 players. And if you all remember that this was the main platform this game was actually selling. And now it's looking like there's going to be some massive layoffs for Bungie. And to be honest, I don't think Bungie are going to be there within the next 5 years. I think Bungie will be shut down. And you know what? This isn't just to have a look at Bungie and just say, how did you let this happen? I think for me, it's more or less what Sony has done to some of these studios, because they have nearly ruined some studios. And as much as I don't like Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog, they tried to make Naughty Dog a live service studio. Even Insomniac at some point was working on a live service Spider-Man game. Ben's studio were working on a live service game. I don't know what's going to happen with that studio, but obviously, as we know, Blue Point Games, everyone was so surprised when that studio got closed down. And PlayStation only acquired them a few years prior. And let's remember that Bungie was purchased by Sony for billions and billions of pounds. So my point is, Sony has been the one ruining some of these studios. Bungie is not making Destiny 3, which I thought that they would after Marathon, but there is going to be significant layoffs. So following the word that Bungie plans to wind down its content support for Destiny 2, a Bloomberg report shares the new beginning the developer is working towards is not a third Destiny game. So Jason Schreier has spoken to sources on the matter. Bungie does not have a fresh project for the Destiny 2 team to immediately focus on once development on the looter shooter winds down next month. Staff are now looking to pitch and begin development of new projects, some of which are set in the Destiny universe, but Schreier claims that Bungie doesn't plan to immediately enter production on a Destiny 3. So it does say Marathon will receive some of the Destiny 2 development team, which Bungie is apparently continuing to invest in. Schreier said some members of the Destiny 2 team have already moved over to working on Marathon and more sets to follow, but they will go through another round of significant layoffs. The total number of job losses isn't known yet, but the Bloomberg reports states the developer is planning a significant number of layoffs as it ends development on the long-running online shooter Destiny 2. 3.6 billion is what Sony spent on this damn studio. You've even got comments here saying, as a huge Destiny fan with no interest in Marathon, this both pisses me off and makes me sad. I just feel like the only way to save that game for long term is make a campaign. Make a 20-hour campaign, and I guarantee you people will be buying that game. I will be buying that game because I would love to check out some of the shooting, the graphics. I actually like the world, but I don't like live service games. And, you know, that's immediately pulled me out of purchasing this game. How long are they going to keep supporting Marathon if under 10,000 people are still playing that game? That we're in a generation of prices going up. We're in a generation of games taking 7 to 8 years to make. Price increases everywhere. It's just absolutely nuts. And now we've got many studios potentially closing down. And I won't be surprised if Bungie is the next to go. I wouldn't be surprised. My gosh, imagine that, paying 3.6 billion for a studio, then all of a sudden they shut down. Who actually knows? Because I do feel like Sony are going to switch their strategy now, because they're going to focus more on single player games. Now they're probably thinking, well, maybe they could work on Destiny 3, but we don't want to invest that much more money now in live service games. I don't really know, but it's not looking good for Bungie. And I think Sony will be learning. And obviously we do have that state of play coming. And supposedly, I know we didn't really mention it in the last video, Fair Games, supposedly it might be there, but as a re-reveal. And all I'm saying is, mate, do you think we're stupid? Do not re-reveal this game, because they did trademark a new PS5 game called Breaking. Registers several social media accounts with this. Could this be Fair Games? We do have another live service game, Horizon Hunters Gathering. I don't know who's actually going to be invested in that. I've got no idea. But if Fair Games arrives as Breaking, yes, initially people might be like, oh, what game is... Oh, I see. It just gets worse and worse. So my prediction is Bungie will be shut down. I don't think you can spend 250 million on Marathon and they've nowhere near broken even with that game. It just shows you, where did it go wrong? And I'll be honest, there's a number of things that could have been going wrong in the gaming industry. I've been very vocal in my main... What the hell was this fly? I've been very vocal in terms of how the industry's gone to shit with DEI hires, making games with an agenda on them. We've seen it in films, we've seen it in the gaming industry, and look what it's done. And I was having a look at Bungie's website, and I kid you not, this popped up as well.
What the hell is even that?
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Like, I'm speechless that they've even got this on their website. And you know what? You can say that I always go on about this stuff. I don't always go on. Well, I might go on about it because it's there. It's in front of you. This tells me, we're here to make games. Why have you got this? Why have you, what has happened? I'm not even going to bother reading all this, but what has happened? This is a game studio. When did games become about messages? It just baffles me. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know what? You deserve what's coming to you. But no, we want to escape reality when it comes to games. And then we've got stuff like that. It is so unnecessary because people are so scared of calling this shit out. And it is what it is. Like, people might say on my channel, they might say you go on about this. Listen, I go on about it because it's there. Look at the damn Odyssey we've got coming out. I'm Greek and I'm pissed.
You serious?
What is going on?
Moving over to Ubisoft, because if we have a look at their stock, which continues to get worse, obviously. I don't even know how it can get worse with Ubisoft, but obviously we do have Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. I've pre-ordered it. Very excited for it. It makes me think of the old school Assassin's Creed games, and I can't wait to experience that because I've never played that game. But one game isn't going to make it better when you come to think about it, because we've had years of Ubisoft making games that are just so boring. They make these decisions like Yasuke in a Japanese setting. Say what you want, it was so stupid to do that. Every Assassin's Creed game, we have had a protagonist that reflects the time period of that. Not like, you know what, let's put Yasuke into Japanese culture and make a game about it. The shares in Ubisoft has plunged more than 15%. Ubisoft reported a net loss of almost 1.5 billion euros. Wow. Damn! Damn! Largely due to a massive restructuring that has seen it cancel 7 games and delayed 6 others. And again, I'll bring it back to what I just said with the whole DEI. We have lost our way in many industries. We definitely have, because they've decided to hire people or to tick a checkbox instead of who is the best for that studio. It's crazy to think that years ago, if you're good enough for the job, you would think you would get that job. But now there's quotas. Hollywood is cooked because, like the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan just wants that damn flipping awards because they have to hit a certain quota in order to be qualified for awards. And with Ubisoft, this is years and years of players telling them, trying to give them feedback, and them treating their fan base like shit. Like, you asked me a few years ago, I was one of the biggest Ubisoft fans. I really was. I loved every Assassin's Creed game. It was just revolutionary. It was amazing. The stories, the characters. And then they just lost their way. To think they have lost 1.5 billion euros, it is absolutely crazy. So, and obviously you have the one and only Yves Guillemot warned that his 2026-2027 financial year would be a low point, but he expects a rebound beginning the following year as new titles are released. And just to sum up this video and just to sum up the gaming industry, it's not rocket science when you come to think about it. Like, who is your fan base? What do they love? Make games for that fan base. That's it. When you look back at the PS1, the PS2, the PS3 era, even the PS4, we were given bangers after bangers. I loved the PS3 generation. I think if I had enough money back then, I probably would say that was my favorite generation. But at the minute, I'm loving, well, I bought a PS3 for myself and I've got so many games to experience. I'm loving playing older games. There's only a few modern games that I love. But my point is, we have to go back to, what does the fan base want? What do gamers want? And we've seen it with AA, we've seen it with indie, we've seen it with the Asian developers because they seem to get it right. They seem to not give a shit. They don't hit quotas or anything like that. They're making a product for gamers that they care about. They want them to buy the game and they're so happy and they're so grateful about that. You look at how Pearl Abyss have addressed their fan base and the amount of updates and how just appreciative they are of their fan base. And with some of these Western developers, they have lost their way. You might disagree, you might agree with me, but this is what I love about YouTube. You can give your opinions and don't worry, I'm not going to cry about it. So I want to hear your thoughts on this video. Will it get better for Bungie? Will it get better for Ubisoft, or are they done? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know.